Strawberry Story Time!
Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you're having a lovely day. The author, Jess Childs, has asked me to read this story to you. She kindly gifted it to us. It's called Ivy and the Rock, and it was illustrated by Heather May Williams. It's all about this little girl, Ivy, and her extra special relationship she has with the rock. She loves the rock so much. Shall we go and find out what happens? Come on then.
Ivy Jones was small and blonde, grown was she in the wildest wood. A rock lived in the middle part, right by her heart, and by it Ivy stood. "I love you, rock," said Ivy's heart, the boulder resting still. All Ivy had was the rock in the sand, and it was all that she needed until one day she could see that some flowers had grown, and Ivy decided to leave the stone. She tasted their colours, devoured their smell, then raced back to the rock full of tales to tell. The rock, resting quietly, listened with ease, and Ivy could tell it was silently pleased. More blooms grew quickly, and as time went by, the woodland was filled with sunflowers and rye. Pansies and roses crowded the rock, so did hibiscus, snowdrops and hollyhocks. Ivy gazed at the woodland wide-eyed, and she felt the rock looking on too with great pride. It gave her the power she needed to go and explore what the rest of the wild wood might grow. And yet, the path to the rock had grown crowded and long, but still it remained there, steadfast and strong. The time Ivy found to share news with the stone grew shorter the more she adventured alone. But the rock didn't mind. In fact, it was glad to hear news of the wild wood that Ivy brought back. One day, Ivy had big news. She had built her own house with its own set of views. Ivy still came to the rock when she could, and always it listened at the heart of the wood. But then a neighbour came and knocked at her door. He said that the rock couldn't stay any more. Ivy ran to the rock. It had already left. She threw herself into the woodland and wept. "I love you, rock," said her weeping heart, as she started to walk down the overgrown path. At the end was the crater the rock had called home, and Ivy felt sad standing there on her own. But suddenly her heart grew wise, for she saw in the space it had left behind that all of the plants she had grown woodland wide had been rooted beneath the rock all of this time. Ivy looked at her blooms as bright as the sun, and she knew in that moment the rock's work was done. "I will always love you, stone." Ivy walked back down the path and on home.
Did you like that story? Ivy and the rock. She loved the rock, didn't she? She loved telling the rock about all the fantastic flowers that she'd found in the forest. She was so sad when the rock left. But then she realised that she had lots of lovely memories with the rock, and how the rock had been helping all those beautiful flowers grow by protecting all their roots. I hope you enjoyed the story, guys. If you want to support the author, it'll all be in the description below. Thanks for listening, guys. See you next time. Bye.